that's right now. I think I don't need to introduce you anymore because by now you've been like on my blog and on my videos, so everybody knows you anyways.
Hi, my Thailand.
From TV ads and from interviewing The Rock.
Yeah, that's me.
Honestly, before we started with all the topics, when I saw the picture that you posted with The Rock, I was a bit jealous, like just
a little bit,
just a little bit.
I was pretty jealous of myself there.
Because that look, that was like, yeah, okay. Like, I mean, I know you're doing like all the media stuff and people know you, but I was like, okay, she's singing with The Rock.
He's like the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now, and meeting him, he's so funny and he's so down to earth.
Rub it more in. I just met the most famous person on the planet. Okay, the future president. Yeah.
It felt like it was very, very cool. Like I was really excited. Like when the producer asked me, he's like, "Are you free these days?" And at first I was like, "Actually, I'm very busy because I had a seminar.
Right.
We're organizing a seminar on the 7th, and going to Hong Kong to interview The Rock was the 4th to the 6th. So it was like 3 days before, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't, like, what's on? I thought it was like he wanted us to shoot a show.
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, it's interviewing The Rock in Hong Kong. And I was like, okay.
I can make it work.
I can make it work, yeah. I'll be there.
Where do you go from here? Now you met The Rock, I mean, what's next? I mean, obviously now doing an interview with me, which is also a great honor, I believe, but now you should say yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very
This is
much.
just as fun, yeah, definitely. I mean, I only had like 5 minutes with The Rock. This is like, I have my freedom.
Right, thank you. I like how you put a positive spin on that, nice. Miss Positivity, that's how I got to know you, like when, 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah, we've known each other for 3, 4 years.
Yeah, right. And we didn't age. Neither of us.
Hopefully.
What did you before we start? What did you ask The Rock? What did you talk with him?
Well, I was interviewing him on the movie The Skyscraper, and asking about his roles, asking about how it was working with Ross and Thurber, the director, again, because they were on Central Intelligence together.
Right.
And they're very their chemistry is very good. They're very funny. And they just.
But the movie bombed. Like I read like an article that the movie bombed, and now when it started, like nobody went to watch the movie.
At the start, maybe.
Okay.
But actually, I think it's like it's getting better reviews. Like.
Okay.
It was actually it's quite exciting. Actually.
Okay. The Rock action movie.
Yeah. It's very The Rock.
Very The Rock.
It had to be The Rock. Yeah.
How before you went there? Like how did you prepare?
Well, I had to prepare some questions about the movie.
Sure, yeah. I mean.
But we watched the movie actually when we flew to Hong Kong the day before the interview. So the day the interview was at the Ritz-Carlton, and we watched the Skyscraper. We watched Skyscraper the day before. And stuff. Yeah. Had to prepare our questions because there was 8 actresses and actors that I had to interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Were you nervous or something, or you just like, oh no?
I was pretty nervous because it's not every day you like, hi.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So
talk to The Rock.
How did you control your nervousness?
He was the first room I went into interview, so I was quite nervous.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but like in the interview clip, I was like, "Swadika," like I was like high pitched, and then I was like, "Okay, calm down." Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Oh, it was very cool. It was very cool.
Yeah. He always looks like he's smiling all the time, which is like. Yeah. Okay. Enough about the jealousy talk. I just. Okay. I composed myself. She met The Rock. Totally composed. Did you have like a fangirl moment? Or were you just like all business when you're like, okay, now I gotta be cool and I'm all business right now? You're like, can I get an interview? Can I get an autograph or something?
Oh, you can't, because everyone's allocated like a certain amount of time, so you have to get your questions, and then next. So we didn't have like much time. Like I was nearly not allowed that picture actually because I kind of went over time and I was like, please, and The Rock was like, no, why not? Like, he was very nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, it's good to know that like such famous people are nice.
Oh, he's one of the nicest people. Like, he's always making jokes.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, but when you're that famous and that rich, you can be nice, right? And
not everyone is.
Yeah, that's cool. But why shouldn't you be? And he wants to be president maybe in the future. So it's got to be nice right now.
I
Then
don't
again,
know.
you don't need to be nice to become president. But that's a different topic. We're not talking politics. Okay. But it's actually cool that we talk about this already because it's one of the million things that you're doing. And why I asked you to talk is like because I wanted to know like how people can manage time, right? And how can you find the motivation to do new things simply because like for me in my job, I get like frustrated sometimes and I procrastinate. I'm like, I don't want to do any more things. My students ask me the similar questions like, hey, I feel like I'm burning out and stuff. So I just wanted to know from someone who does like so many different things. What is it? What do you do actually? All the things like it's just a few examples so that people know.
Okay. Well, for the past 4 or 5 years, I have been a news reporter. I've worked as a news reporter for Mono 29 Channel, Radio Thailand, in BT. I've been a TV host, like a gadgets show, a travel show. We went to Japan every month. I've shot currently around 35 ads, TV ads already, a couple of music videos, some cartoon voiced overs. Yeah, it's just so much I can't remember.
It's already a lot.
Yeah, just shooting a few series.
Of course you do,
Stuff
because
like
why
that.
not?
Yes. And so currently, a few months ago I wanted to learn about the business world because I'd never really had like an office job or had any...
Who are you?
Well, I need to learn, right?
Okay.
And so I got a really good opportunity from my mentor, Kuntam Kursopon, and he wanted to kind of do something to give back to society, to do with education, creating seminars, camps. So we kind of started that kind of company business.
Right.
It was called Call to Action, but at the moment we might be shifting to focus on kids camps or leadership camps.
Okay.
So, well, for me, it's a process of learning because I think you can never stop learning and developing yourself. A lot of the times I do things because, oh wow, that's cool, but I really do focus on the positive point of it. A lot of people kind of focus on, oh, this is cool, but the pay is really low, or this is cool, but this, but that. I tend to try to focus on, okay, the pay might be low, but it gives me this, or like this I get to learn about something. This one gives me a good profile. This job like is good money. It just depends. Like depends on the different things, and I find that learning and experience is a big thing. So my father always taught me like don't just shut your doors.
Right.
You know, keep your options open. To learn new things and to gain opportunities and experience, but as you grow, try to kind of do have a focus in your life and kind of do plan it out so you're not just doing everything. And that's also something that I'm kind of struggling with as well because I love doing everything. Right. But at the moment I'm trying to, you know, as we all do, try to discover yourself and what you love the most and kind of go along those lines, build a career from it, excel in something, that kind of thing.
True. Actually, makes sense. There are actually two things that I find interesting. One is, if your call to action decides to go into higher education, let me know. And secondly, where I now just find a connection here. Right now I'm preparing like a talk for like our freshmen, like a freshman orientation talk, and I have to kind of motivate them to like show them how to succeed in life and university and stuff. And one of the things I show like a short clip of like an alumni speech from an American university, and I just like the speech of the guy, and he says one of the problems of our time, like he's 22 when he graduates, is the millennial problem is it's like he calls it the Netflix problem. So you go on Netflix.
I think I watched it, and you spend so much time choosing, right? That you waste so much time, and in the end you don't
commit, and it's
you don't
like
commit.
It's like you don't do something. Yeah. So one thing is to keep like all the doors open, all the options.
Keep it open, but have a focus, have a core, and kind of know yourself. Right. It's important to know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know how to utilize them, and like to use them to your best ability, so that you know what you're good at. Right. For example, for me, like in the kind of business terms, I didn't know this before, but when I started, I'm good at being pushy and a bit bossy because I like to get like what I want.
Right.
So I like to get things my way, and that's good in the sense that I kind of make things happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not good at like the little details or like so someone else has to do that. Like it's in business, it's important to know your strength.
True.
Yeah, and in everything, I guess.
How do you find your strength though? How do you know what you're good at?
Well, you have to start by doing it first. Because
Good advice. I like that. Yeah.
if you have a million ideas, but they never just happen,
True.
then you won't ever know if they will work unless you actually do it. And if you do it and you just reach a wall, then you try to fix it. But if you can't fix it, okay, then you kind of have a reason. Like you learn.
I'm gonna play that in my class. You have to do it.
You actually have to do it.
Exactly.
Well, that's true. Like you're gonna be like, oh, I want to open up a coffee shop. I want to do this. I want to do so many things.
Right.
But will it work? Like you don't know. You've never done it.
Right.
If you do it and it fails miserably, then at least you know it fails. Then you can adjust your plans, do something else, or make plan B happen.
Yeah. True. I like it.
Yeah.
I will just play this in a repeat loop. Like do it.
Just do it. Like
Actually do it. Yeah. So yeah, it's true. I mean,
at the moment, I want to start a career in Jade that I told you about. I've been thinking about it forever, actually, for like 4 or 5 years, while I was working in my entertainment industry things, because my family, they also work a lot in Jade, in Myanmar Jade. But to me, at that time, I felt like I preferred to be doing what I loved at that moment, like the singing, the acting. Oh yeah, I forgot singing. Yeah, I'm a singer too.
I'm a singer, actor, real life superhero.
So I thought that would always kind of be there, and that's why I kind of was not ready for it at that moment. But when I'm at this stage, and I've done everything that I've kind of liked, I loved, I got it out of the way, and I still love doing it. But now I need to find something. Well, this is the problem if you want to work as a freelance or in the entertainment industry, is that it's not 100% secure, right? If you are sick or if you have a baby, then what are you going to do? So you have to kind of establish something else for you, and that's what people do. Like you can have another business, and for me, I'm trying to. That's why I feel like I have to learn about business as well, so I can combine and have something that's kind of safe and secure, while sometimes being able to do the things I love as well. Yeah, so I'm on a learning phase right now and trying to establish it in the long run. Yeah, about the J.
I like that approach, which is that's cool. Like learn something new, also, right? But sometimes learning something new can be frustrating.
It is very frustrating. I mean, for me, for the past 2 months, working, we organize seminars, right? Seminars and camps, and for someone that has never actually really done it before, I was very frustrated because I didn't know how to do it. Like a lot of it, like financial plans, business plans. It was very exciting, yes. It was very exciting. Okay, now I have to go and learn this and that, call these people, and it was fun. But then in the end, like, I was a bit like, okay, sometimes it's overwhelming.
Right.
But that's normal. You just have to kind of keep focus on the reasons that you decided to do it in the first place, because you did it for a reason.
Okay.
And those reasons kind of tend to get forgotten as you go down the path and you see so many obstacles, so frustrated. But to me, those little obstacles, they're not supposed to shoot you down. They're just there for you to solve it.
Right.
And then you can keep going.
Right.
And then you learn something, and it's a new benchmark. Right. So even if I haven't succeeded or anything, like I could actually say that I've learned a lot during the past 2 months of trying and swimming around in the sea, like doing something I've never done before.
Yeah, true. Reminds me of one of my, also because you're looking at a wall, it reminds me of one of my favorite like quotes by Randy Pausch. I'm not sure if you know Randy Pausch. Like he used to be a professor in America. Like he gave some motivational speeches also, but he passed away to cancer. And then he had like this thing that's called his last lecture. They told him, okay, you have got 6 months to live. He's like, okay. Artists would maybe record another song about like their sickness. He's like, I'm a professor, what should I do? So he's teaching one last lecture. And he says, the brick walls, like the obstacles, then when you run into a wall in real life, they're not there to keep you out from something, they're just there to keep the people out that don't want it bad enough. So if you can go over those brick walls or around or through or whatever, then you deserve it. And actually, like those obstacles are a good thing because they will keep the others away. And if you succeed, then they show like you deserve it. So that's actually like a good advice. Like use those obstacles, still have the goal or the objective in mind or like the reason why you do something.
So you actually have to really want something, and this is what my mentor he teaches me about this. Like, do what you love, or do what makes money, so you can go and do what you love, and you will be able to succeed if you want it enough. If you want it badly, then like you will run through it. You will run for it. You will call it your project. You will be like, I need it, and then you will proceed through it in a different way, as if you just wanted to be like, I'll kind of do it, and then I change my mind and I won't do it.
What are some of those obstacles that you face, or some of the moments where you thought, because I think when you talk about obstacles, sometimes people think that's something terrible and you have to overcome it. But sometimes for me, those obstacles are learning how a boring business plan works. And you're like, that's so annoying, but you just have to sit through hours of like understanding something that you're not really into.
That's not too much of a problem for me. For me, sometimes it's dealing with disappointment. Or, I think that's a big thing. I mean, you'll have your hopes, and sometimes there will be disappointment, and there will be things that you cannot control because you have to work with people, and sometimes people change their minds. Sometimes people have like their opinions on you, or sometimes they expect something and you can't reach that expectation. So a lot of the time it's dealing with people and their expectations and the disappointments, all of that. But then again, it's about kind of keeping focus on the long path and what you're trying to do and what you're trying to focus, and not getting bogged down by these things. I mean, that sense of disappointment is part of the obstacle. It's part of the challenge. It's part of what will make you succeed, because you have to deal with it. And if there's that disappointment, if someone's disappointed in you, it means you have to lift up your game. If not, then you can kind of come to terms with why. It might just be that it's not a good idea to work, or to, I don't know.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
True. Do you have any I don't know, anything that you do when you're disappointed, when you think like, hey, I need to refocus? Is there any like, I don't know, do you sing, do you scream, do you... Because for me, obviously, I'm pointing at my gloves, I'm going to punch, and I'm going to do sports, and I'm going to hit the bag and my trainer, and until I'm like feeling better. Is there anything that you do when you feel like, I need to refocus, I need to work through something?
I think it's always good to have a nice quiet time with yourself. Have a nice talk to yourself and analyze what happened. Have a good think about it. Have a breathe. Have a breathe and think about why this didn't work out, why that didn't work out, so and know yourself. So I like to analyze, and I think this doesn't only go for work or for other ethics. It goes for relationships and everything.
I agree.
So you analyze like what went wrong there, what went wrong here, but you don't overanalyze, and you just kind of analyze, know the reasons, know yourself, and kind of move on and use it as a lesson for the next thing that comes along.
How do I say it without sounding like cocky or something? Let me think. Because I had a similar talk with like a friend the other day. Because since I'm still working in higher ed, right? So we published the grades like at the end of the semester, and then they are online available for students. And what usually happens then is like within minutes of the grades being available, students flood your email, your Facebook, stalkers, your line with like, why did I not get a better grade? Why this, why that? And then a friend and I thought like, it's kind of weird that like people apparently don't seem to be like able to reflect upon their own doings or what, like their own success or in this case not success. So how do you manage to like, because I think it's natural that we say like, I don't make mistakes, like I'm awesome, like how do you keep yourself like with self-reflection? Do you have any tricks, any advice of how to reflect upon your own, I don't know, misbehavior or So
well, well, definitely no one's perfect, right?
Right.
And when we do something and when we achieve, then that's the good things. That's us using our like high points. But then there will be times that we fail miserably, or we like do an exam and we get really bad grades, or we disappoint someone, or we get into a fight, or we have drama. Well, it is. I think we talked about this once before. It's like once we kind of grow older, we get to a point where we become simpler.
Right.
We become simpler people.
True.
Because we cross our checks. We know ourselves more. We know what we want. We know what we don't want.
Yeah.
We learn why those mistakes happen. Those downfalls happen.
Yeah.
So we prevent it. And as we grow in life, that's why we have less problems.
True.
We have less and less problems. So it's all about kind of fixing your errors and mistakes all the time. And if you can't do that, then you'll never improve. So it's very important to be able to analyze your faults or your bad qualities or the things that you lack. So it's important also to analyze why this happened, why that happened. Like say you keep losing your wallet all the time. I mean, the same thing happens to the same people usually. Everyone has a set of problems that they attract to themselves.
Yeah.
And it seems to always happens to you all the time. This happens to me again. Usually they say it's like the same person, the same issue, but just with different people. These problems always just happen reoccurringly.
Right.
Different scenario, the same thing happens. And so why is it that it doesn't happen to anyone else? It just happens to you.
Right.
Because you're the one that attracts it in somehow. So you kind of have to identify what it is in you that keeps attracting these problems. If it's something about friends, are you too vulnerable? Are you too insecure about something? Do you care too much about what other people think?
Right.
And that's why you have these problems again all the time, dramatic fights or whatever.
Yeah.
If you keep losing your stuff, maybe you're not careful enough. So it's like self-diagnosis. If you can self-diagnose yourself, then it will occasionally get better and better, and you won't have those problems anymore.
Right, I agree. You mentioned one thing I think that which is like very common these days, like that people care about how others think about us, especially with social media, right? It's like everyone only posting like stuff that makes yourself look good and things like this because they care what other people think about us. How do we stop caring so much about what other people think?
Well, there's a line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you have to be considerate. Considerate to how we affect others, how our actions may affect other people. We have to still be kind and nice, but because, we always have to kind of try to be the best that we can be and do good things, you do have to be confident in what you're doing.
Right.
And in that sense, don't care too much about what other people think, because you can't impress everybody at the same time. Someone will always think, like this. Someone will always see it from a different perspective and think you're doing something wrong. Like, just focus on yourself and try to better your ways. And as you get older, you will care less and less about what other people think. It's quite normal when you're like very young to care about these things because that's part of life, I think.
Right. But as you get older, you realize that's not really that important.
It's not, and you'll the importance of things narrows down.
Right.
Friends, it will be like a small quantity. You will feel like it's not necessary to keep unnecessary people in your life because it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time. You'll see the importance of time resource, energy resource. Like one person, you have limited hours in a day, you have limited energy that you have to kind of consider or be nice to someone. So you want to use it to the most important people. Yeah. You want to prioritize the core, like on developing things that will lead to you having a good life. So you don't want to waste time. Time is the most important thing for me, I think. It's all about prioritizing your time. Everyone has 24 hours equally.
Right.
So I think the way to kind of win in life is the one that can most efficiently prioritize their time.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. I think time is very important.
It's not about like, you know, just trying to work like 20 hours a day and sleeping 4 hours. Health is important too. So if you can balance time out like really efficiently, like get good sleep, exercise regularly, work efficient amounts, just make sure that in one certain moment of time that you have, you're doing the most efficient thing that you can do.
I agree.
And that's what I always think this like all the time.
Yeah.
And I guess that's probably why I'm always kind of doing something.
Yeah, you never do nothing. Yeah, it looks like you never.
If I'm doing nothing, then it means I thought about it. That this is the best thing that I can use to spend this allocated amount of time.
Right, yeah.
Because my body needs it.
I try the same. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also the reason why I always have to speak back with Nick, because I plan my time like. I never just sit around and think like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Always do things. And if it's active resting, then it's active resting and recovering.
Resting is resting.
Exactly.
Reading, studying. Just do things that will be beneficial to your life.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's drama, if there's something that's like, it's almost like cancer, you know, cancerous things that take up your time and they don't really help in any way, but you're just addicted. It's like a drug. Try to cut them out. Yeah, and try to use your time more efficiently. That's the most important lesson, I think.
Yeah. Very subtle, like don't take drugs, but it's true too. No, but I agree, and for some reason it seems like that people, younger people, get attracted to like this kind of drama thing. Like
I guess it's normal.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. But I mean, now we are wiser, not older, wiser.
Now we're older.
We're growing out of those things. But it's like when you look back, you see like
you can see the
so
flaws in yourself.
Exactly.
All the dramas in your life, like 3 years back, 4 years back, you look back and why was I in the middle of all that? Why did I care so much?
And then you tell younger people and they won't believe you, but it's still...
Oh, I think another important thing in life is about age. Phases of life. It's not the age, it's the experience.
Experience, yes, I agree.
Experience, problems, and just going through them. The more problems and obstacles people go into, then the older they are, right?
True.
So it doesn't matter about the age really, but it's about the experience.
What you actually do, and so that's why what you said before, just if you want to do something, then do something and not just think about it, because then you get experience. And also one of my favorite quotes from a fighter, he said like, I never lose, either I win or I learn.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's the thing I think with obstacles. Like if you're going through something really deep and really bad, like you're feeling like the worst in the world, you're going through so much, why you're so unlucky to be going through something like that. I try to think of it as something different. Tell yourself you're lucky because you're getting an experience that cannot be bought with money, but it's going to make you so much stronger and wiser. You're going to grow faster than the people that have never been through this kind of problem. So every obstacle is actually like a rainbow in disguise. It's a lesson in disguise.
True.
And
I agree.
It's a reward. It's a reward.
Be happy about your problems you're facing. If you overcome them.
And you will overcome them.
Yes, exactly. True. It's actually very nice. I have to make this into a poster or something. No, it's true. Actually, now I had like 2 questions that I wanted to ask you. Now I totally lost track of them because you're making so much sense. No, one of course is there any example, experience that you want to share? You said like that was like one obstacle for me. I overcome that, and then it all made sense, and I felt so much better. Is there anything that you can think of that you say, oh?
Well, if you kind of notice the people around you, there will be like, I find that the people who go through the most deep problems, they like, you can't really tell from the outside, but they're stronger, right? They're stronger at heart.
Yes.
And they're much more immune to the little problems in life.
That is true.
So if you're going through these problems, that's the plus side. That's the advantage that you will get from going through these deep problems, because your body and your brain will learn.
Yeah.
It will build. You're building yourself a defense mechanism, an immunity wall for like little things. Whereas if you've never been through like problems, then these little things just are all problems.
Right.
And they all
you try
seem
to fix them all, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like this cliche, but what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right? So
Yeah,
it kind of works.
Yeah, it could be like heartbreak, family problems, and like just
A
it's
bad grade in
important.
my class.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's important to just kind of one is like try to be simple,
Yeah.
try to learn,
Yeah.
try to gain, and yeah, I think maximizing your time.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the time thing.
Try to be understanding and considerate because I think that's also another important thing because everyone else has a different story.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you don't understand someone, you think they're weird, why are they doing that?
True.
But you don't know their stories, so don't judge. That's one thing, don't judge and you'll have less drama in your life. And if you keep, if you just form so many stigmas about this person, that person judging, you're just,
Yeah.
it's not fair and you're not doing yourself any favors on growing like mentally.
I agree. Show compassion whenever possible.
Because you learn more about other people when you don't judge them with what you've been through.
Right, exactly. Because they've been not through the same that you've been through, but through other things.
Yeah,
And
you don't know why they're like that.
exactly. And what you think is weird might not be weird for others. So yeah, I agree. Don't judge. It's actually like very good advice. However, when you think about all those good advices here, I mean, you give them for a reason because I think, and if we look at like how society is right now, like a bigger picture, what's like one of the biggest issues that you see right now? Where you say, man, people should just change in this like one perspective. Or I see like this problem like happening because you work with people too, right? Just like I do. So that's why I'm curious about it because I work with like students like in higher education, so 18 plus. So I just wonder like how is that like where you work in entertainment or business? Do you see like when people are like usually when people are in a bigger group, right? They behave in a certain way. And I think like when I talk to one student, they're like super cool. You're cool. They're super cool. But once you have like a bigger group, they tend to behave in certain ways. Yeah, they tend to complain more, for example. Do you see anything like this in like everyday
Maybe
life?
that's their identity when they're trying to
exactly.
create a cool identity towards their friends or trying to fit in.
True,
I
of
guess,
course, like,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's how group movements work, right? Like in-group, out-group, and so on in sociology. So you try to find like a group of people that you associate with because nobody wants to be alone. So you try to find people. Oh, he's angry. I'm angry too, and now we're the group of angry people, and now we belong together. Sure. But I think I see this now more frequently than I saw it 2-3 years ago, for example. That people are more into the complain mode nowadays. Now I wonder, do you see this somewhere else as well, or is it just me being like a grumpy old professor?
I do tend to see it sometimes because like when I do acting and stuff, there will be people that are always constantly complaining about things all the time, but then like it might seem like they're drawing lots of attention, but then in the end, you don't want to be that yourself. You don't want to be hard to work with.
Yeah.
So you just have to kind of need to be like as simple as you can.
Right.
And that's like with relationship or with life as well. I mean, you fix problems. You try to be compassionate. If friends are having a fight or whatever, you're trying to understand. But you have to kind of also understand your role in it. Don't get yourself too into it because it's not your role.
Yeah.
You have to understand, help in the roles that you can. Mm-hmm. But when you bring other people's sadness or bring other people's what's letting them down on your shoulders, you're not actually helping them.
No, but you're doing yourself a disservice.
You're doing yourself like more burden. You're just stressing yourself out. And that doesn't really help anybody.
I agree.
I read this book and it was talking about like how parents sometimes they get too. If you interfere with other people's roles too much, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
It kind of like, okay, say the parent wants the kids to have like really good grades, so they kind of slam the kids to go to all these classes and schools and blah blah blah. Sometimes that helps, but if the kid himself or herself doesn't actually want to do it, okay, wait. how do I say this? It's the fact that you can only help someone else to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But you can't take it all on and interfere.
True.
They will only take it if they want it.
Of course, like it's intrinsic motivation is important. Like if they don't want to do it by themselves, or they're not accepting any help because they want to be sad or angry or whatever right now, then everything you do doesn't really matter. Yeah, I agree. True. I mean,
I wish I could like put it in words better. Like it really struck a chord in me, but it was in Thai, but I can't like really remember the saying now. But it was a really good message.
Okay.
It was a message of it's the whole like I don't care too much about what other people think.
Yeah.
It's all about like knowing your role.
Right.
I'm a student. This is my role and how I perform. It's like a job criteria.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go into a job, okay, this is your task. Your duty is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
If you're doing above your task,
Yeah.
then good, you're exceeding.
Yeah.
If you're doing less than your task, then that's not going to be good for your
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah.
But like it's important to know our role. If there's a problem and if it's your fault,
Yeah.
then okay, that's our fault, that's our role. And then there are some things that you can't control. So knowing roles is important.
Right. I agree. Yeah. True.
Knowing the role, because if there's a problem and you just blame everyone, then that's not good for anyone mentally or like psychologically.
True.
Or if there's a problem and it's no one's fault, then it's all part of the analyzing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. You have to. We always tend to hold other people accountable for what's happening, but not ourselves. So you also have to hold yourself accountable too for what you're doing. I agree. Since I'm preparing this motivational talk for my students, if I would ask you to give them like some life advice besides what we said right now, but like if you have like this one, if you something that you wish someone would have told you when you were a freshman, like which was only like 4 years ago, so right? what would you say? What would you have wished someone would have told you? Like this is gonna happen over the next 4 or 5 years when you grow older. Is it what we said so far, like don't care too much and focus on what you can do, or?
It's quite hard because certain things are things that you have to learn yourself.
Right, yeah, that is true.
You can't be
baby
told,
everyone. Yeah,
or like
exactly.
if someone tells you, you don't even, what does that even mean anyway? It's
Right.
like you'll know it, but is it relevant to me? Like, or how do I practice it? Or I think what I would say is that I know to a lot of people it might sound like nonsense or something, but I'm always for positivity and
Right.
stuff. Positivity is not, it's not an illusioned image. It's
Yeah.
still reality.
Yeah.
But positivity is something that needs to be practiced.
Uh-huh.
So if you know that, then you can kind of work on it. It's
Okay.
something that needs to be worked on, and
Right.
it's whether about relationships, it's whether about time, it's whether about, it's in every kind of aspect of your life. The whole judging people.
Yep.
You're not going to judge people if you kind of see the good qualities they have.
True.
Don't focus on, everyone has bad qualities and gray areas, but okay, this is their strong point. Focus on that and learn from them. Learn from that. And everyone you meet, they will have a story, they will have something they can teach you or offer you. So it's kind of like everything has its good point, right? If you
agree.
focus on that, then you'll be happier. But not everyone can be like that because it's impossible to be happy all the time. Even
Right.
though most positive people get down or get moody or get whatever. But
Right. You still have to find like some.
you become like that because
Right.
you lose your positivity.
Correct.
When you find your positivity, you'll be happy again. It comes back.
Right. And if you focus more on those positive things, the positivity comes more frequently.
Yeah, and it's the same about work and
Right.
Everything.
True.
So, and about studying, about life in general. So I didn't know this like a while back. I was just kind of like, yeah, I'm positive, but it hadn't like a lot of people don't know. But
Right.
I think positivity can be practiced. Yeah, it must be practiced.
Right. You have to be actively positive. It sounds a bit weird, but you have to be like actively.
You work on it.
Yeah,
It's like going to the gym, exercising your
True.
body, reading a book, exercising your mind. Positivity is also something that needs to be exercised.
Yeah.
When you find yourself like scowling at someone or having a negative like thought,
Yeah.
like find out why.
Exactly. And
Find
then-
out why you're having these negative thoughts.
And then-
Where does it come from? What's
Right.
it doing to you? It's making you form these negativities about someone else, or
and see if there's something positive about it. And like if you can always, what you said before. Yeah, I agree. You said you read it in a book. Do you read lots of books in this regard that give you like some inspiration, or do you find like some outside inspiration or something, or does it all come from within?
yeah, I do like reading books.
Yeah.
A good read I can recommend is The Art of Happiness.
Yeah.
Dalai Lama.
Dalai Lama. Yeah, I have that too. Yeah.
That's really good. That's
Yeah.
really good. But yeah, because I'm good friends with Roundfinger Nukgal, like he's a Thai writer.
Yeah.
And so I've been reading a lot of his books as well
Okay.
to practice my Thai. But I do like reading these
Okay.
things.
All right. Yeah, the Dalai Lama book, I like it too. I have it too. I have also like a book by a student of the Dalai Lama about compassion, the art of compassion, which I also recommend, which is really, it's like such a book, but it's really nice, really
Right.
good. Anything else that you recommend to like, that you just watch, read, listen to in order to, I don't know, get some inspiration, or is it just like every day where you see stuff and you just keep taking everything in?
Yeah, and the whole don't judge people kind of thing. Everyone has a thing that they like and they won't like, right? Like
True.
I like this kind of music. I'm me. I'm like this. That genre is bad. I don't like this person.
Yeah.
You can like your things, but like have respect for other people. Have
Right.
respect for other things, and if you're open for learning, then you will develop and be more adaptable in the future to life.
True.
Be adaptable.
Open for learning, yeah. I
Be
like it.
open. Always be developing yourself and
Yeah.
never stop learning. Never stop improving yourself. I think that's important.
I also think that's important, and I also think that if you keep doing that, if you keep doing learning, if you keep doing being open-minded and trying to learn new things, like you do with your new business, for example, I think that also keeps you A, more positive because you learn new things,
Yeah.
and B, to say younger, but like I think like more, your mind stays more active, which,
Another thing. Wait. The thing that you said before about like, what tip would you give?
right,
Okay. Well, this one I didn't really practice out like before, about 3-4 years back. It's writing things down.
okay, yeah,
Planning your life. Everyone's gonna have a million plans and this and that they want to do. Actually, write it down, put it on paper, put it in lists. Today I need to do this. This week I need to do this. This year I'm gonna do this. The whole New Year's resolution doesn't have to be New Year's resolution.
Yeah.
It needs to be like a business plan for your life. Because okay, the technical way is a business they can clearly state the revenue, right?
Right.
We're going to have a 200% revenue increase by 2000 in 3 years.
yeah,
Is it true? Nobody knows. Like they just kind of have a forecast. But
Right.
what do? Once they set that plan, they write how to do it, how to get there accurately, and then they do it. Life shouldn't be any different from a business. If you
Okay.
treat yourself as a business, this is me. Who am I? My good qualities, what I want to do, what I need in my life, and then you write exactly what you're going to do to achieve that, then you'll get it. It's like a business. You might fail and then you have plan B, start a new business.
that business thing really struck a chord with you, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Actually, I listened to a podcast the other day where they talk about this, and one of the guests at the podcast, she said she has a vision board at home. So
Yeah.
she has a vision board, and she puts like on the board like what she's wanna achieve, like you said, like this month, this year, within 5 years, I don't know. And then she like check,
Yeah.
which also motivates you and helps you to stay positive, right? So you do actually write down stuff on paper.
I try.
Okay.
If you want to have a neat and cool way to do it, search in Pinterest like bullet journals.
Okay, yeah.
They're a big thing at the moment. Like
Bullet journal. Okay.
yeah, you can design, keep track of whatever you want to in an artistic kind of way if you want.
Okay.
Bullet journaling.
I used to record what I want, like I want to do this and that on my phone, but then I never listen to it again because I hate my voice. So I should, maybe I should give it a try, the bullet journal. Okay, that's a good tip for everyone. Huh, let me think. Because that's just, I will try to add this into my slides or something as a tip by you. All right. Then, since you seem to be busy, becoming or getting busy again, just finishing this up in a few minutes. Just two things that I forgot again. I had two more questions while you were talking, and now you came up with this great advice, and now I forgot the two questions that I had while I was listening to your advice. Yeah, I'm getting old.
You can.
I mean, wise.
You can message me later.
I'm becoming wiser.
Like tomorrow or next week when you think of the question.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, just look in the camera and I will voice over. Let me think for a second because I thought it's such a good question that I wanted to ask you, and I was like, yeah, this is a nice question, and now I totally lost track of it. Damn it, I'm getting old and I should write it down while we're doing such things. I never want to write things down because I think as soon as I do that, I'm admitting that I'm old.
Old is fine.
But apparently
There's
I am.
nothing wrong with being old.
Doesn't have being old like a stigma to it? Like, look at him, he's old.
I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, I don't want to grow old, blah, blah, blah. But then you realize as you get older that the older you are, the happy, like, you learn so much more. Your life is accumulated, like
But that's because you're not 30 yet.
I don't mind. If I'm 30, then I'd be like more settled than I am now, right? So like the older you are, the more...
Yeah,
like,
because I'm super settled, you're right. Wait until you're my age, young lady.
I'm sure your mindset will be more improved.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's why
I'm
I don't
so
mind.
much wiser.
Right?
Totally. Nah. I would want to end this on a very motivational note though. Let me see how I get like a smooth transition into something motivational while I'm trying to remember this one question I was so proud of that I think of this question. But we're so motivational already right now, like much different to what we did last time. Even though the depression part was also like being like a bit more positive at the end, like how to like get out of it and everything. Oh, by the way, just FYI, I had a few more depression talks like with people with depression, and they all like, right now, the last 6 months or so, I think I saw lots of people saying they're depressed, like way more than I ever seen before.
I think there's always going to be people that are in that state of mind.
I think so too.
But you just kind of notice more when you're in that state of mind. You kind of see people and you feel each other.
Yeah.
You feel it. But when you're back and being happy and bouncy,
You
you
don't
kind of
really see
you don't
that.
really see it as much.
I think so too. Right. Anyways, but many people said like actually like that what the talk that you did was actually like very nice, very helpful,
Really?
and very good to listen to. And you're a very eloquent speaker was what I got as a feedback, and it's very nice to listen
thank
to you.
you.
So
I'm glad.
Yeah. So I just letting you know there's some actually some really positive feedback there.
Thank
which,
you.
Thank them. Yeah. So
Thank you, and it makes me very happy that if I can help people, especially when people are down and stuff, because
Right.
you know everyone's been there. I've been there before, and sometimes just a little spark of help or it's like a ray of light, you know,
Right.
and that's why it's important to always kind of help people when you can, because you never know, you could be someone's light at the end of the tunnel.
That's one of the questions. Yes, thank you. Helping. Exactly. Because I think also one thing that I realized when I work with like young people right now, and also I realized with myself now when I'm getting older, I'm changing, of course getting wiser, is help. Giving help, helping others. But I think that's something that once you're getting older, like actually helping others is always a nice thing, and I think we
Yeah.
always feel good. But also one thing is asking for help. How do you ask for help? Did you ask for help in any of your ventures? Did you search for
You
help?
ask for advice.
Right. How do you do that?
Well, firstly, you have to kind of determine what you need, right?
Yeah.
For example, I have no idea about this issue.
Yeah.
I need this person. I need to work with someone like this. And then you kind of think about who would be an expert in this. And like people love to give advice or help generally. generally, if they respect you enough
Right.
as well. So, firstly, you have to be clear. You have to be clear. You don't just kind of randomly ask, because you have your credit on the line as well. If you're always like every little thing you're asking for help, next time they're not going to want to help you, because they'll feel like, oh, why don't you help yourself first? You know, do some homework, do some research.
Yes, I agree.
But if someone comes to you with a question, and you can feel that, you know, they're really lost on this, and you're someone that can really help them, and you have the time and resource to do it, then why not? If it helps someone who's really trying. But first you gotta try yourself.
So you need to show that you're trying, and then people will be happy to help you. I agree with that. And also, don't feel ashamed when you ask for help. Like sometimes people are like, I don't want to ask because I can do it by myself, maybe, I don't know. So if you really try, and you don't know,
you gotta try yourself first, and you gotta kind of really want it.
Right, but then if you're stuck somewhere and you really try, then it's no problem to ask for help. Because then people will see, what did you do so far? Okay, I can help you. That's no problem. And the second thing that I just want to add, and then we're finishing with like your final last word, but the second thing I want to add is, like, when you help, don't expect anything in return.
Yeah, and don't expect them to be exactly like you taught them.
Exactly.
Because not everyone picks up as quickly, you know. Sometimes they hear and they're like, oh, okay, oh, cool, yeah, I'll go do that. But then they turn around and they do exactly the opposite of what you teach them.
Right.
That's your role, is to give them advice.
Correct.
If they don't do it, or if they choose not to, then they have some sort of reason for it, or they're not ready yet.
True.
It's not in your role to be angry at them.
Exactly. Oh, very good point.
Yeah, you can't.
Yes.
You did your best, and that's your role, and that's that.
Right. I learned it as an educator very often, that don't be angry at students if they don't take your advice.
Yeah, and that's
all you can do is like help them if they don't take it. Right. Okay. As I promised to let you go soon, famous last words as always when we do such things, right? What do you want? The millions and millions, I wanted to call the ROCK now, people watching, what do you want to tell them?
Okay, to spend your time wisely, help people as much as you can, look after your parents or your loved ones, the people that really matter the most.
Okay.
Spend time, look after the people who looked after you, repay the people who helped you, help them back.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
That was fun.